Hello everyone, and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, your host and resident truth-teller, and today we're diving into a royal bombshell that's quietly revealing far more about Prince William and Kate Middleton than any Buckingham Palace press release ever could. Now, you might think a story about Highgrove House, a charming Gloucestershire estate surrounded by fragrant gardens, would be a tame one. But oh no, my friends, buckle up. Because what we're actually looking at is a tale of legacy, insecurity, and a deep-rooted fear of stepping into Princess Diana's shadow. Let's begin with the basics. Highgrove House was the country home King Charles adored. It was the place where he, and let's not forget Princess Diana, spent significant time during their tumultuous marriage. The estate is drenched in memory, symbolism, and emotional weight. And now it's become a symbol of something else entirely. Prince William's refusal to carry the burden of royal legacy in a meaningful way. When Charles ascended the throne in 2022, Highgrove technically became William's property as the new Duke of Cornwall. But according to Jack Stooks, the man who tended to those famous gardens for over 2 decades, William wants nothing to do with the place. Now, why is that? According to Stooks, William probably wouldn't move into Highgrove once he became king. Instead, there are protective measures in place to keep the house and gardens in pristine shape, but not for William and Kate's use. In fact, the Prince's Foundation now leases the garden from the Duchy of Cornwall, in a bizarre back and forth of royal rentals that screams dysfunction more than tradition. Stooks even said it would be unfair to Kate, citing the emotional baggage attached to Highgrove and more pointedly its association with Diana. "That's like her having to step into Diana's shoes," he said, a telling quote. Because while the press often bends over backwards to shield Kate from criticism, here we have a former royal insider admitting what many have long suspected: Kate is unwilling, or perhaps unable, to embody the gravitas and substance that Diana represented. Let's take a moment to really unpack that. Kate Middleton has spent the better part of 2 decades being compared to Diana. And for good reason. She inherited the same title, Princess of Wales, and occupies a role that mirrors Diana's in both form and function. But rather than rise to the challenge, she and William have seemingly recoiled from it. The refusal to live at Highgrove, despite it being a symbolic family property, is just one more example of their resistance to emotional responsibility and symbolic continuity. Meanwhile, the royal family is built on symbolism. The entire institution survives because of carefully crafted imagery, ritual, and tradition. So when the heir to the throne outright avoids the family seat that shaped his parents' legacy, we're not just looking at a real estate choice, we're looking at a symbolic rejection. And let's talk about the supposed justification here. Kate being compared to Diana is unfair. Oh please, Diana redefined the role of a royal woman. She was a humanitarian, a fashion icon, a woman of the people. If anything, Diana's legacy should be a blueprint, not a burden. But perhaps that's exactly the problem, because stepping into Diana's shoes would mean actually doing the work, connecting with the people, taking risks, being vulnerable, and unfortunately that's just not Kate Middleton's style. Let's be honest, Kate and William have built their public personas on being blandly palatable, not boldly impactful. Their appearances are carefully curated, their interviews rehearsed to the point of coma-inducing dullness. It's all surface, no substance. And maybe that's why Highgrove feels so threatening, because it forces them to confront a legacy they can't live up to. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of royal real estate. According to Stooks, the king rents his house from William, and William rents 2 of his houses from the king. It's a bizarre game of musical mansions. And while the tabloids might brush it off as harmless aristocratic quirkiness, it actually points to a deeper issue, a fractured royal infrastructure where nothing is permanent and everything is transactional. This complex arrangement was put in place to preserve Charles's beloved garden, while ensuring William got the duchy perks. But how telling is it that Charles the King is effectively squatting on property technically owned by his son? And that William is avoiding the estate entirely, preferring to live at Anmer Hall and Adelaide Cottage instead. Let's pause there. Anmer Hall and Adelaide Cottage are both far less historically significant than Highgrove. They're more private, yes, but they also lack the gravitas of Charles and Diana's former home. That's not a coincidence. It's a choice, a deliberate step away from the weight of responsibility and memory. And guess what? The public notices. Royal fans remember Highgrove not just as a house, but as a cornerstone of Diana's life. Avoiding it sends a message, whether intended or not, that William and Kate would rather curate their own sterile narrative than engage with the emotional truth of their inheritance. Now let's talk about the optics. If Meghan Markle had refused to live in a residence associated with the late Queen, you can bet the British media would have erupted with accusations of entitlement, disrespect and American arrogance. But when Kate does it, oh, suddenly it's all about emotional fairness and respecting individuality. Please, it's the same hypocrisy that's haunted the royals for decades. The difference is the public isn't buying it anymore. What we're seeing unfold with Highgrove is a microcosm of William and Kate's entire approach to the monarchy. Avoid the hard stuff, smile for the cameras, keep everything clean, polished and emotionally inaccessible. Compare that to Harry and Meghan, who embraced Frogmore Cottage, a home gifted to them, and later ripped away, not because it was luxurious, but because it offered a place to raise their children and connect to legacy on their own terms. Meghan didn't run from the ghost of Diana, she honoured it. Even in interviews, even in symbolism, even in activism. And maybe that's the real difference. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about who lives where. It's about who has the courage to confront the past and carry its weight with integrity. William and Kate want to be modern royals, but they can't seem to figure out that modernity requires more than press-friendly photographs and air ambulance flyovers. It requires emotional honesty, depth, and above all, accountability. Now let's go back to Jack Stooks, the gardener whose words unintentionally pulled the curtain back. He spent 21 years tending those royal gardens. That's not just a job, it's a vocation, a labour of love. And when someone that invested in the legacy says William won't take the reins, we should pay attention. Because the monarchy, like those gardens, needs tending. It needs caretakers who don't just look good in photo ops, but who actually care about the roots of their family and the legacy they represent. And yet, here we are. Watching William and Kate dance around a legacy they refuse to fully engage with because doing so might mean being compared to people they can't compete with. It's a missed opportunity, a deliberate retreat, and frankly a disservice to the public that continues to foot the royal bill. So what does this all mean? It means the future King and Queen consort are setting a tone of detachment, avoidance and sanitized emotion. It means that rather than embracing the legacy of Diana, they're dodging it. And worst of all, it means the monarchy, under their stewardship, is poised to become more hollow than ever before. But here's the twist: while William and Kate keep running from the past, it's Meghan and Harry who are shaping the future. So let them keep their cottages and curated smiles. The real legacy will be written by those who aren't afraid to confront the truth, embrace the past and carry it forward with grace. Thanks for watching Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and I'll be back soon with more untold stories from behind the palace gates. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because in a world of royal fiction, we deal in royal facts. Until next time, take care and remember, Highgrove may be empty, but the truth is overflowing.